but I wouldn't say don't do it too. That's like, it seems to me like I wouldn't recommend it. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But I don't admit it either, you know. So that's why they brought it up in Matthew Shepard's trial, because one of the young men who assaulted him, had been given the pamphlet, and they were wondering if that was part of the reason he had felt okay with doing this in the first place. But you read things like that as a gay Mormon, and as much as they tell you, oh, well, we love you, and the church loves you, and you know, like, just so long as you don't do it, God loves you, God loveth his children. But by the way, if you get assaulted, you know, okay, we won't tell you, this is what bugs me, is he left it so ambiguous. Because, let's say, the young man's companion, the missionary's companion, was trying to rape him. That would be an instance where, gay or straight, you need to be protecting yourself. And floor him, taser him, I don't care, whatever you need to do to get out of that dangerous situation. But that's not what Boyd K. Packer said. He didn't say anything about that. All he said was, be careful of homosexuals. Here's a guy who hit his companion, and I didn't omit it as a recommendation. Does that make sense? That, like, and I'm just supposed to feel loved and like I'm a part of it all, you know what I mean? And then when I decide I'm gay, and there's nothing that's going to change it, which has been confirmed by research, and that I am going to be happy like this, I'm going to be happiest with the person that I love. I'm just supposed to, like, you're just supposed to be surprised when I'm like, I don't fit in anymore. I don't feel safe here. Surprise. I don't know. How did I get on this? Something about, oh, you know, religious abuse. I was talking about abuse and spiritual abuse. I don't know. My beliefs. I believe it's wrong to harm another person if you can avoid it. I believe that there's a difference between harming someone, or here's the thing. I think there's a difference between harming someone and causing someone pain. Because that pain might be necessary. It might be necessary to sit down with your heroin-addicted sibling and say, look, I know this is really painful to hear, but you got to get your kids back. You got to, I mean, not that I have a sibling like this, but you've got a kid. Because I do have a sister who's trying to get her kids back, but I'm not talking about her. You've got to get your kids back. You've got to get your life on track. You've got to start doing things. You've got to have a successful life, not just for you, but for the people around you to some extent, especially when you've got kids, right? That might cause pain to someone, but it's different than someone saying something to cause pain, or saying something out of ignorance that caused pain, and then not, when confronted with it, not owning up to that. I believe we have a responsibility to do the right thing. I believe many people, we all have different values, so we believe different things about happiness, we believe different things about what is the right thing to do, you know what I mean? My coming out as trans or as gay might hurt you because you thought, this was the person I thought that you were, and now you're not. And that hurts, and I don't know what to do with that. And I feel really alone, and that'll cause hurt to someone. But it's a better alternative to me staying in the closet for my life and not living the happy and successful life that I could. Because that kind of pain is something that you can overcome, and isn't something that I did to hurt you. Does that make sense? I don't know. But there's a difference between saying that and me coming out, which I don't know that this happens very often, but that was a really bad example, but me coming out to hurt you is what I was going to say, but that was a really bad example. Somebody cheating on somebody hurt someone, right? That's what makes that wrong, is that you didn't stick with that commitment that you made to someone else. Commitments are, they're entirely important to me anyway. I So let's say, okay, I think there's a difference. I think it matters if something hurts someone. You know what I mean? Like, that's what matters. Because two men being in a relationship, it might make someone down the street or down the hall or whatever feel uncomfortable, but it doesn't harm them. It doesn't harm their children. It doesn't harm them. Okay? It might offer a different life, and you don't want your children to know about the homosexuals, you know, and then suddenly, oh my God, my children have to see you there. Like, you can't just stay in the closet for your whole damn life. That doesn't harm anybody. Like, that doesn't harm your children. Your knowing they're there does not harm them, especially when it gives the opportunity for these two people to live a happy and successful life, a life that they could not live, assuming these two people are not bisexual but really just mostly gay, right? That they could not live with someone of the opposite sex. You would deprive them a happy life because you feel discomfort? That's sick. Okay, as opposed to someone who's a pedophile. Let me say that differently. Not someone who is a pedophile. Someone who acts on their attractions to children. Because I think there's a difference. I think you can be a pedophile and not act on it. And that sounds hypocritical, but I'm going to explain that in a second, okay? You can be a pedophile, not act on it, and I think that is heroic. I think that is heroic because you do not have control over, I believe, you do not have control wholly over who you are attracted to. And if you are attracted to a child and you do not engage in anything, you are a hero. You are a hero. That it would be so tough. Why? What is the difference between someone not acting on their inclinations to pedophilia and someone not acting on their homosexuality? If I, a consenting male adult, had sex with another consenting male adult, we would both have an understanding of what we were doing. We would both be able, because of our understanding, to give consent. I think it is the consent that makes it not wrong. Especially if you can make your life better. And I'm not just talking about sex, okay? It's so much more than sex. I wish you could understand that, some of you. It's not about sex with homosexuality. I mean, it's about sex with homosexuality like it is about sex with heterosexuality. It's about attraction. It's about love. It's about intimacy. It's about a connection that you share with that person that is different than the way your mother might love your father. I mean, it's the same, but it's different. Your mother loves your father partially because he's a man. As a woman, I loved a woman. Let's just pretend I'm a lesbian, right? Partially because she was a woman, and I'm attracted to women. It's like, it's something that I am attracted to, right? I don't think I'm attracted to men. I mean, I say I don't think because there's a little bit of me that's always kind of been like, haha, I like how you look. But I really think it has more to do, that has had more to do with, haha, I like how you look. I want to look like that. I want to look like that. You know? But when an adult who has an understanding of what sex means engages in a sex